my biggest stress reliever is walking. There is a bigger purpose than just having diabetes. And it did teach me how to change, how to adjust, how to review. I had to get back to some of the foundational pieces of diabetes I don't always go to every day. But it kind of was a new journey from mental and physical and diabetes as well.
Some people cannot afford this technology. Um, and like far as the genetics, how important does the genetics take place? Because personally, my family, I have diabetes runs rampant in my family on my dad's side. So, you know how we say in the community, oh, my mom has it. Oh, I guess I'm just going to have it. Like, I feel like that's just a cop out and just something that you shouldn't accept. Um, so does it run in your family?
No, so that's the craziest thing. Like, especially as a type 1, a lot of it is hereditary. And
Hmm.
I have no family history of type 1 diabetes. I personally think a lot of the newer cases of type 1 are more environmentally given because our environment's
Hmm.
changing so drastically, our food sources are changing drastically, but I have no family history. So I was out here alone this whole time. I mean, my family got on board, but I didn't know anyone until I was after college, is when I really met other diabetics. So
Mm.
it was very, very different for me. And that's why I'm a big advocate for community, because it's something I needed that I didn't even know I needed. But when we're thinking about
Yeah.
genetics, especially in the type 2 space, like you can be pre-diabetic and then diabetic. When they're giving you, hey, this is your yellow light, that's why I put as a yellow light if we're looking at a stoplight. Pre-diabetes is yellow. That doesn't mean like a decision. You can make choices. Or if you
Right.
know you have family history, let's work on this as a family. Let's work on these, because a lot of
Yeah.
things take proactive lifestyle changes, and you cannot be that statistic. You can go beyond it. You can break whatever has been happening through these generational pass downs that is being labeled as genetic that might not really be genetic. There might be, okay, like I can learn how to prepare food or figure out what's best for my body or understand these things, or I can learn how to have a proactive, healthy lifestyle that can prevent me from having these diabetes. Like, you can be empowered to make these changes rather than just saying, oh, my mom's got it, my uncle's got it, my auntie's got it, I'm gonna
Hmm.
have it. And that doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't have to be the case
Yeah.
anymore.
But this It doesn't, but the sad thing is now, like, the statistics are showing that younger kids, like ages 12 and 19, are gonna be pre-diabetic or have type 2 diabetes, and it's like we're fighting an uphill battle with, like, the food industry, and I'm like, "How can we, like, fight this?" I mean, California, that's where you stay at, right? If
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
it's
I like the way California is going, with their things, with the foods, but I worry, like, as a mother,
hmm
like,
and
my kids.
it's scary, because even if you don't have the genetic connection, like, I mean, some of it, there are some real scientific backgrounds where this is it is family history, can happen this way. But there's more education, there's more things around things now where you can make some small changes that can make your risk less, can make significantly reduce your risk, where you might not just have it because somebody else had it. But when we're thinking
Yeah.
about the bigger issues here, really the environment and what you have access to, that's the bigger thing. It's like, is everything full of pesticides? Is everything full of all these other things that are
Mhm.
causing things that we don't even have the research behind yet, or why we're getting so many
Yeah.
uptakes? Because 1 in 2 people have diabetes or know somebody with diabetes. That's a lot. There's a lot
That's
of
true.
people in the
That's a
world,
lot.
and
Yeah.
it's a normal thing now. Which at the end of the day, it's like, I can't believe we're talking about a chronic condition that's now just normalized. Like, we shouldn't all be in a chronic condition. Like, that's not
No.
what living is about. But when we're looking at
Yeah.
our food sources, our soil, our farming, where do we get everything from?
Mhm.
How does it get distributed to every zip code? What are the price tags around these? What are, even, let's say, if we're looking at the government funded things, okay, what are those options? What accepts different types of food stamps? What doesn't? And that
Mm.
all plays a piece of this. And until someone sits there and looks at that from that 10,000-foot view and wants to make a change, it's going to continue to
Mhm.
be a problem, and we're just going to be a world full of sick people.
Yeah. Yeah, because I lived in an underserved community. And just me being health conscious, I did take that extra drive out to get good quality foods. Like even we have the grocery stores in those underserved communities, but the produce section is not as vast as others, which is really bothersome to me.
Hmm.
And so, like, even the parents have to be on board. Like, it's not the kids, but it's just bad habits based off of the environment because we definitely have access to a gas station with some chips or McDonald's,
Hmm.
Arby's, Burger King. That's more accessible than a kava
Yep.
or, just
Yep.
healthier food options. And it's really sad. It's kind of like we're set up for failure to a certain extent,
Absolutely. And then if you can't even afford, like, let's say, okay, it's cheaper to go get a box of just noodles and
right?
something of those sense to feed a family of five, six, whatever it is, or your community, because families aren't just mom, dad, sister, brother. They are bigger, especially in these diverse,
Yeah.
underserved populations as well. Like that's where I we've all been through in different things. It's like it's different. Like you got aunties, uncles, cousins that you might not even know they're cousins. You got it's different. It's a different culture where it's like you're feeding a lot of mouths. And if you have $20 to
Yeah.
feed 10 people, what can you do with that? Can you fill that with vegetables? Can you fill that with protein? No, you might really just be able to
Yeah.
have sauce that might be full of sugar. You can't get your no sugar
Mm,
added sauce. And it's like you have to think of these as things like this. And those are cheaper. And that's the issue here. The
yeah.
easily accessible foods are not the best things for your body all the time.
I'm glad you talked about foods because in our culture, we love us some, I guess, the quote unquote soul food.
Hmm.
Thanksgiving is our time, right?
Yep.
The fried foods. About the only vegetable that I feel like our culture loves is like collard greens, but everything else will have cheese on it. And it's like, how do we navigate healthier food options from our
Exactly.
cultural diets?
Yep, and
It's
it's one of
hard.
those. It's one of those. It's hard. Our culture dies, but there's different ways. Like I've seen a lot of people, especially here in California. Their greens are not collard greens; they're kale, and I was like, okay, but you know what?
Oh,
It's like there's other pieces, and like there's different movements kind of going on in these things, but you have to also be open in your culture to have these conversations. Like just because we're seeing our families get diagnosed with different things or dealing with different health complications, that also is a norm. I feel that's a statement of myself, not it's not scientific fact, but that's becoming a
yeah,
norm. But it's okay. Like, what else do we want to do about this rather than complain?
yeah,
Let's come together. Let's see what
yeah.
options we can do. Let's start a garden in our neighborhood. Let's do something like this because,
Mm,
and starting a garden doesn't have to mean you need to go get all these seeds. Save the seeds from the food you already
hmm.
have. Like if you already paid it, just save it and go.
Exactly.
And let's do it. We
Yeah,
can do it this
yeah.
way. And those community organizations can go a long way to help with that too. But it really just takes the people to want to make a change as well. And I do think it starts one
It's hard.
family by family once they're diagnosed and see that something else is there. Um, but it's unfortunately not a one person battle. I wish I would fight that all I could if I
Mhm.
could. If it was a one person, you
Yeah.
guys, we'd be in there. I'd be like Mike Tyson in there. But we are we're not there yet.
Fight for
But
life.
I do think the
No.
small awareness piece of it and the education
Mhm.
and the literacy around
That
it
part.
and letting our different communities know of, hey, it doesn't have to be like this. Here are ways to do this. Let's grassroots
Mhm.
approach this. I think it can go a long way.
I agree. I agree. But it's still so hard, like, to navigate these recipes. Like, hey,
Hmm.
you don't have to add all this sugar to your candy yams,
Hmm.
or, butter. It's like there are different options. But that educational piece, I agree. Is I feel like that's the biggest gap that we are trying to close when it comes to African Americans because we're just stuck in our ways. I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, I was like, I'm from
So,
Florida and Tennessee is different, and my parents are
yeah.
from DC and Georgia, so it's just like you have everything. And I'm a very health conscious person.
Mhm.
I've been like that my whole life, probably. Like, and it comes down to
Mhm.
different things. It's like, okay, like I like stevia, or this looks like a weird fruit. Like I want to try it, and everyone's like, what are you
Yeah.
eating? What is that? And I'm like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
good though. Like it tastes good. It's full of flavor. It's full of nutrients, but have like if you get a yam or a sweet potato, like they're naturally sweet. You don't need this other stuff. Like I
Yeah.
just tried it. You have to be willing to expand your palate. And you can still bring in your
Yeah.
spices, you can still bring in your flavor, but there's a way to do it, and it's got to be something that's newer than an air fryer. Like air fryer is great, fast,
Yeah.
easy, but it's still a frying
Mhm.
mechanism. It doesn't mean that it's
Mm,
always
yeah.
healthy, or like it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So it's like life I think should be lived, but in moderation. You can have all these things in moderation.
Absolutely. That part. Activity.
Ex-
No, I didn't never ask you.
mhm.
Do you weight train?
I do. It's not my favorite. I'm starting to like it, but especially through the marathon, I realized really the importance of
Mhm.
recovery and strength building. I think it's really great for the
Mhm.
body. I've always been a part of it, but it's one of those things like I need somebody to tell me what to do. I'm never gonna go into the gym and just pick up some weights. But I do understand the importance of it, and it's actually a very empowering experience and journey that I've been on with myself. It's like,
Mhm.
wow, I can do this. I can build muscle. I can build strength. But
Mhm.
if you don't have that foundation, you're not doing conditional strength building. That could even be just through weighted stretching and beyond. It goes longer. You want
Mhm.
healthy, strong bones. You want healthy um, stabilization. And as you age, the more that you can strength build, the healthier you'll be.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate strength training.
Yeah.
Like the more muscle you have on, the better you can maintain your insulin levels, right?
Exactly. The better your glucose levels will be, the better your insulin will be, and honestly, the better you feel. And then, like, you're gonna look good. You're gonna feel good. The more that you can do this, it's
Yeah.
just a different way. Like, because if you're people out here struggling to lose weight, struggling to do these other things, struggling to keep their sensitivity down, like, have you tried weightlifting? Have you
Mhm.
done any things? And it doesn't mean that you have to
Mhm.
go and like bench press 100 plus a bar. Like, you don't. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
where you
yeah.
start, you guys. It's not where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
start. It could be, oh, I got a 5 pound,
Nah.
I got a 10 pound, or I'm doing a
Yeah.
plank. I'm doing these other things. Like body strength goes a long way, and
Yeah.
it's one of those. I've been a journey is going to be a continual journey for me, but I felt the rewards not just in how I feel every day, but also in my diabetes management.
Hey, if you ever need a trainer, just let me know.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Because this is something, getting help. It's okay to need help and accountability in these
Yeah.
spaces. I think coaching is a beautiful thing, especially in the different facets of
Yeah.
health. But I I coach, and I need a coach. I need a coach in every aspect of my
Yeah.
life.
We all need coaches. I need a
Yes.
coach. Yeah.
Because
Keep me
it's
accountable to hold me.
yeah, and it's like you don't have to do this alone. You can do this with tech. You can do
Mhm.
this with support, with coaches and beyond. But it's not something you have to navigate on your own.
That's a big thing. You don't have to do it alone. Like you said, use your technology, use your resources around you, and just make sure you take care of yourself. Like a mom, that's me
Hmm.
being a mom. If I can't take care of myself, if I'm not doing good for myself, I'm no good to anybody.
Yep,
And life just starts to crumble. There's just a trickle effect on down. But
absolutely.
I want to are there any other things that you want to talk about? I think I've asked enough questions.
No, you're good. I think the one thing I would just leave the audience with is take the risk. Take the risk to try. Like you deserve to live a full life, and you deserve a healthy life. And whatever steps you want to take to get there, like you're in the right space. You're here listening to the show. You're here learning about healed. You're learning about other things like that. And there's resources. There's people. Reach out to me. Reach out to Amber. We will guide you in any direction that we can,
Yeah.
because you don't have to do this alone, and you deserve the best version of yourself. And I think that anybody who wants that can get there.
Oh, well, I'm inspired and I love everything that you're doing, what you represent. And I really appreciate you taking time out today to sit here and talk to me. So thank you again, Danica.
No, thank you. This was so much fun, and I appreciate the time.